I'm here. And it's really interesting that I've started today a little late, like 27 minutes late, and I'm going to probably be real short today. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the difficulties of recovery. Now, on the bottom, I've got it set up to take in comments and stuff. If anybody's watching, feel free to comment, and hopefully I'll see it and be able to interact with you. Um, the process nowadays is to work with people and try to get this show off the ground. The broadcast itself is going to change days and probably change times. I do not know what that day and time will be, but today I want to talk to you a little bit about where my addiction started and how I got to where I'm at today. Okay, and I'm going to start by saying, hi, I'm Bernie, and I'm a compulsive gambler. My last bet was November 21st, 2007. That said, my first bet was in middle school on the playground playing marbles. You heard me right, playing marbles. Back in the day, you would play marbles during the week, and the winners would give back the marbles at the end of the week to the people they want them from. I didn't like doing that, largely because I won them. Now, it wasn't exactly the greatest wins at times. I had a tendency to lose just about as much as I won. And when I lost, I loved to get my marbles back. But when I won, I didn't like giving them back. Um, that's something that's kind of sad for the addict, um, for the compulsive gambler, because when they win, they want to keep the money, but they get to the point where they keep trying to win more, and in winning more, they give it back. So that's where that all began, with the idea of winning is great, losing not so much, but when you win, you want to keep going. Uh, just know that it's not something that necessarily began when you were a child. It very well could be something that happened um, in your adulthood, but a lot of times you can trace it back to events back then. Now, over the years, I went through different types of addiction. Um, I did at one time smoke. Now, being as I didn't get diagnosed until later in life with asthma, but I did get diagnosed with allergies. What happened is smoking wasn't something I could continue because I couldn't walk a block or two without losing my breath. Over time, for my first marriage, I married into a family and saw my mother-in-law had a room full of losing lottery tickets, and I swore I'd never do that. Lo and behold, over the years, I did do that, and ultimately lost my marriage over it. But the recovery process came with the understanding that it wasn't going to get better overnight. It didn't happen overnight that it got to where it got, and it wasn't going to get better overnight. Now, what happened in January 2000 or in November November 21st, 2017 or 2007, excuse me. I'm having an old moment. Is that I went to a GA meeting and listened to people that had talked about how they'd lost everything to their gambling, and then turned around and bought a scratch-off ticket, having passed the 20 questions with a score of 17, I think 17 out of 20. And if I was honest at the time, I could have gotten 20 out of 20 easily. Um, so that's where that came from. Prior to that, I almost lost my job due to a coworker that stole money. That resulted in me fighting to keep my job and also ending up in adult psych. And then during that 10 days that I was in adult psych, my now ex-wife discovered the extent of my gambling prowess, and it was primarily to avoid her in the first place because of the arguments. So I would gamble with scratch-offs after I got out of work working at a convenience store. Now, the first 3 years of my recovery, I was actually working in a convenience store at the same time. So we're looking at not only was I in recovery, but I was having to sell my addiction. And that's why I developed a process to deal with that. I made associations with my urge to gamble to the nasty bathroom in the back room. Somebody comes in and wanted to buy tickets, I'd say the next one's a winner, or I'd make sure they knew my background. So nobody was going to let me gamble because they knew that that was my addiction. And if they did let me gamble, then they would realize that they fed a relapse. So that kind of thing, being open about it to my coworkers, being open about it to the customers that came in that were regulars, and sharing that helped me get through 3 years working at a convenience store selling scratch-off tickets while being in recovery from being gambling. And it was difficult because I kept thinking about, am I doing this vicariously? So I have to be aware of that now, even more. It's been almost 10 years now, and as time went on, I began to develop things. And that's why you'll see that I've got books out there for recovery. I've got books on the process. I've done some extended research on it. I've worked with people online through Yahoo, or not, no, not through Yahoo, through Facebook. I had a Facebook group for a while and tested my theories and my practices, which later I discovered were an extension of cognitive behavioral therapy that could be done on your own. It deals with coming up with something in the morning that keeps you from starting the process, and something that you can focus on through the day. And in the early days, it was, I'm not gambling right now, and that's good. Now I have to choose. Do I want to be part of the decades of not gambling, because there's people out there that have not gambled at all in that moment? Or do I want to be part of decades of my addiction, which means I would be tied to all the people that were gambling in that moment or were going to be gambling that day? And by saying that moment was important to me, I was focusing on my moment in recovery, but associating it with all the other people that are in recovery at that time and realizing that my moment was part of decades of solid clean time. And that meant that when I gambled, I lost that association and I went to the other side, and I remembered what it was when I was gambling. What did I lose from gambling? I lost a 24-year marriage, which in retrospect probably would have been lost anyway, but this didn't help. I almost lost my job. I lost my self-dignity. I lost the respect of my children for quite some time. I had to rebuild relationships with family. I had to rebuild relationships in so many different areas. And now, looking back after 10 years, I feel good that I was able to write books and work on material and do the research to help others with the recovery. So now, if you're interested in getting help, feel free to check out my website online, which is standtallrecoveryservices.com, and take advantage of some of the services, including a peer counseling session process that I've got, where I will work with you individually if you're somebody that's having struggles, on as many sessions as you want, 40-minute sessions in any given stretch of one, but multiples of that. If you need it twice a week, I'll do twice a week. If you need it once a week, I'll do once a week. But I will do it in a way to help you. I'll go through the steps with you. I'll do whatever you need to be done. I'll also walk you through some of the things to help learn the process. In saying that, I want to make clear that I'm not gambling right now, but that doesn't mean I couldn't start again. So I'm no better than anybody else. I'm just willing to help other people, in part because it helps me. So that's today's show. I hope it's a benefit, and I hope that people will comment and give input as to when they think would be a better time to have the broadcast, what things they'd like to see change, and whether they think that maybe I should just go to Facebook and do a live show through Facebook, because it seems that works better in some respects right now. Now, as far as the counseling, I can do that by phone, text, and video chat through a site called Zoom. But I do ask that you sign up for it. I also want you to know that there are many opportunities there to be of service to others, but also many resources to help people. And if the cost of the book is a problem for somebody and they want my book, all they have to do is talk to me, and I'll make sure that somehow a book gets to them. I've been known to send digital copies out at no cost, largely because that's what's important to me is somebody's recovery. That said, the book being sold does help provide me the opportunity to continue to do what I do. So thanks for watching today, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that people will give input on it. So have a good day, and let me know what you think.